Well, hello there and welcome to your favorite all-women talk show, Sister Sister, on Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM. It's another fabulous week and I'm totally thrilled to come your way once again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, the show is also live around the world via our Citi Newsroom app. You can, download that app and make sure you listen from wherever you are, no matter where you go. If you're beyond, the shores of Ghana, you can still enjoy our content. We're also live on DSTV channel 363 and GoTV channel 182. My name is Jessica, and as always, every week we come to you, we talk about relationships and all the wahala that pops up from time to time. We share our 2 cents on ways that you could possibly deal with certain situations in your relationship as well. I've got my sisters and a special guest on today's show, and I'll introduce all of them to you right after this. You're welcome once again. So how do you let your partner know that things aren't working out without actually hurting their feelings? I guess this is one of the questions that we will answer before today's show ends. But there are various ways that you can interact with us on the show today. One, via email. You can send an email to jessica@citifmonline.com. Secondly, you can also like our Facebook page. Search for Sister Sister Live on Facebook. And then finally, you can send a WhatsApp message live to the show on 054-998-6996. Let's hear from you. Your opinions are what make the show what it is. And so we look forward to receiving your messages. So on tonight's show, as I said, I've got a special guest who will be joining my sisters. But for now, let's say hello to Rosina. It's been a week. What's going on, my sister? I hope you're holding up and things are going well.
Nothing much. I'm still on leave.
Right. How are you? I mean, how's this happening for you? I don't understand. You pay on leave like that.
Because I had to do more work during the lockdown time. So
right.
I get to take my after. So
I should come for your job because I was also working during lockdown, but I'm still here.
Maybe yours just going to come towards the end of the year. They probably travel with it or something.
I hear from your mouth to God's ears. Good to see you. We also have Olivia in the house. Livy, what's going on with you? How are the Les Coussons?
The Le Croissants are good. They're just panic eating all over the place. They open the fridge and they go like, "Oh, mommy, can I have this? Can I have that?" By the time I realize everything is finished, they're just eating. Watch TV, do some schoolwork, and they're always eating. But besides that, they're fine. And I'm also good as well. And I hope you're also good. You look amazing. Oh my goodness. I'm loving the whole...
I look like a school teacher.
Oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my sister. Now, on to our special guest, and this is going to actually make a lot of men happy. I mean, severally, we get conversations or messages about, the show's not balanced. You guys should have a guy on the show. Well, today, I went into my archives and I digged out the rap doctor himself. We've got Ochiame Kwame joining us on Sister Sister tonight, of course, virtually. So, Mr. OK, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Jess, you look beautiful.
Thank you. What? Thank you very much, Charlie. I'm learning from you, you see. When I turn 44, I want to look like you.
Hey, pressure. the way you look, if you look any better than you look now, it will be trouble. Please stay like this.
I should stay like this. I hear you.
Yes, you look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope Annika and the family are doing well.
Oh, yes. We are doing some work at the office, but when I'm done, I will go home and try to get my piece of them.
Super stuff. I like that. All right. So, Ochiame Kwame, I know you're no stranger to Sister Sister. So, just flow with us, okay? My girls talk a lot, but don't let them out-talk you.
Okay.
Welcome to the show once again. Okay, guys, so we'll go straight into our first email for the day. And this one says, "Hello, sisters. My first relationship ended about 4 years ago, and I had this female friend who was there for me after the breakup. We started getting close as time went on until she told me about her feelings for me when I was in my previous relationship, but kept it hidden. I loved her too, but just as a friend. Now, several months later, I decided to start a relationship with her to see if I could love her just as much as she did me. But it's been 2 years, and I haven't been able to love her as much. We find it difficult to connect and understand each other. We've gone on dates to spend quality time together, but the love hasn't really been there on my part. During my birthday last year, I met a lady on a trip with my friends, and we connected so well, like we've known each other for a long time. It's easier to talk to her. It's easier to confide in her. I fell in love with her and vice versa. I want to spend the rest of my life with her as well. Now, I tried breaking up with my friend, but she also doesn't want to let go. I don't know what to do now. I need your candid advice on who to choose and how to go about it. Olivia, I'm coming straight for you. What are your thoughts on this one? How do we help this guy out?
Oh my goodness. You see, when you're in a relationship, right, and you don't focus on it, and you start looking out of the relationship, you end up complicating things that don't necessarily need to be complicated. First and foremost, let me go back. First and foremost, you weren't even sure about the love that you actually feel for your best friend. Because, I mean, you friend-zoned her, you have platonic love for her, and then now you decided, okay, you broke up, the relationship went sour with whoever it was that you were in a relationship with, and then bam, I mean, your best friend is there. I don't think you quite healed, but the fact that she was there and she was available, and then she gave you her love, it was convenient, you kind of sort of convinced yourself that maybe it wasn't just platonic love that you feel for her, and that you probably loved her. And that's the thing. Love is love. There are no gray areas. It's either you love somebody intimately or you don't love them. It's either you love somebody like you love a sister, like you love a brother, or you love somebody passionately or romantically. And there are no gray areas. You can't convince yourself to feel otherwise. It has to do with the heart. So the fact that you had to sort of force yourself to convince yourself that you love this girl took her through a journey of relationship whereby she's probably been in love with you for God knows how long. So your best friend, when you said okay to her, she was like, okay, finally, you can actually see me for more than just a best friend. And I'm sure she's loved you for the longest time ever. My thing is that I wish that you hadn't led her on, or you hadn't convinced yourself so much that, maybe it's not just platonic love that you feel for her. Because right now, you're going to completely break her heart some more. You've wasted her time because she's invested her emotions, her love, her all into her relationship with you. And I mean, because the foundation of whatever it was that you're feeling wasn't genuine, that is how many years down the line, you finally met that person that you don't have an iota of a doubt about. And you're like, oh, this other person that you bumped into at this party is the person for you. And my thing is, you can't, there's people's emotions here, there's people's hearts here, there's people's investments and commitments to you. I don't think that you should treat them like that. Moving forward, well, that's why you're here. You're looking for a solution. I think that marrying your best friend, or if you should continue your relationship with your best friend, it will be a bad idea. And I don't know whether you are in a sort of relationship with this new person who just came into your life right now, but my thing is, break up completely with your best friend. It's going to be a bitter pill for her to swallow, but it is what it is. She's better off you breaking up with her now, today, than going years down the line and ruining her life, getting some kids into the picture and ruining the entire situation. I don't believe in going out with two people at the same time. No. Listen, the love part didn't work out with your best friend. Let her know. Break it all off with her. Break up with her. But be empathetic of how you break up with her. How you break up with her at this particular moment is very, very, very important. It's not going to be it's not going to hurt any less. She'll be broken, she'll be shattered, but she's better off without you right now. And then once you break up with her, by all means, continue your relationship. But moving forward, I hope that you're 110% sure about this other lady that you seem to be in love with. But going out there as well and throwing out some advice to people. If you're in a relationship, please try and stay focused, try and stay committed and make it work. This whole thing about meeting people in parties and falling in love with them some way. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Okay, all right. Well, let me see. Rosina, what are you thinking?
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that it's very difficult to move a relationship from a friend zone to an intimate zone, because the love expressed between friends is different from the love expressed between people who are actually dating or are intimate. So, for instance, if you love somebody, you want to have a friendship with somebody, so you want to have a relationship with somebody, you need to grow that relationship to become friends. But it doesn't necessarily mean that good friends can make a good relationship. Because normally when you have someone who's a very close friend to you, they're even seeing you, in his case, seeing him relate with his ex-girlfriend when they were dating and all of that. Now, when she even starts dating you, she's going to be having a lot of expectations based on what she saw you do to the other girlfriend. That alone is another problem area. And then I've said this a few times, that women can fall in love with you because of what they feel, or let's say how you treat them, or how you make them feel over a period of time. Women can actually fall in love with you. But for men, I don't know the formula. A man can fall in love with you, yes, because you're a good cook, you are good at house cleaning. Another man will fall in love with you because you are so beautiful and he wants it. Another man will fall in love with you because you are very intellectual and outspoken and da-da-da-da. Another one will say, look, I don't want a woman who will challenge me in my decisions at home. So you don't really know what it is. And normally when a man loves a woman, he loves a woman. Forget it. There's nothing you can do, say, look, forget it. So what's happened? His mistake was he should have admitted to himself that whatever he had for that lady was not something that could even transcend into a proper relationship. However, he felt like, look, she's my friend. She's a good woman. She's done this, she's done this, she's done that. But you see, every relationship needs to have some fire. It needs to have something, look, underneath all the sensible decisions and sensible ideas, their partner ticking all the boxes on paper and everything, there needs to be that extra fire that consumes you. That is where the interest, the attraction, the love, all those things built up from. So if that thing wasn't there, especially because she was a very good friend, you should have taken your time before entering into a relationship with her. However, I keep saying that, look, you are better off. I wouldn't say say it as wasting of time, because the girl wanted it. When the other guy was dating the other girl, 4 years even after breakup, she was still on the sideline, still loving him. So it wasn't like he was the one who forced her to love him. So I don't see it as wasting time. But it's better off her wasting time for an extra 1 year or 2 years, or her spending another 1 year or 2 years to realize definitely that this man doesn't love me, so she can move on and look for somebody who can love and appreciate her for who she is. That being said, when the man went out, I don't think that he had a serious relationship and he went out looking. He was not connecting with this girl, but he's been out of his relationship for 4 years. This girl is also here. Charlie, she's okay. The girl says, I love you, I love you, I love you. How long can you keep saying, no, I don't love you, I don't want this, no, we are friends, I don't think we should. It gets daunting. So yes, you did her, quote unquote, a favor to see whether you can also reciprocate that feeling. It didn't work out, agreed. Now that you've met somebody that you are attracted to, for me in this case, because of the precedence, how you got into this relationship, you are not looking at somebody else because it's not like you were in love with this girl, you wanted to be with her, and you bumped into somebody in the club like we discussed last week. You understand? This one is an issue of even where you were, you were just marking time. Now, that being said, whatever decision you make, you have to break up with your best friend. Unfortunately, you may have to lose your friendship. Unfortunately, you may. It depends on how open-minded she is and how much she can handle some of these things. You may have to lose your friendship with her. And the mistake you shouldn't do is to break up with her, move on to somebody else, and still want to have a relationship with her or some form of friendship with her. It won't work out. Break up with her. Make sure that you sever it clean, neat. It will be painful, it will be deadly, but you'll get the message loud and clear that this man doesn't love me, doesn't want to be my boyfriend. She would heal. And when she heals, she will now be available to look somewhere else to have a proper relationship.
All right.
So, the harm has already been done. But Charlie, count your losses. Break up with her. Even if you don't go out with this new girl, you will never marry this lady because you don't really love her. It's not somebody like you. But when he thinks of spending his life with a woman, I don't think this best friend is in it.
Right.
So she shouldn't waste the girl's time any longer. That's what I think.
Okay. Ashami Kwame, you've heard from both sisters. They're saying definitely this guy should break up with his best friend, if I can call her that. Do you hold a different opinion?
I think that we should just face it. Our guy doesn't know what love is. He's a fraud. This guy of ours is he's selfish. He wants to eat his cake and have it. I know for sure, or I think that it's because of this very selfishness that the other girl broke up with him. Because how can you accept to a love proposal from someone that you call your friend? Because to be able to call someone your friend, you must have real love for that person. So how can you accept, knowing that you don't love the person, accept that, okay, I love you, let me try. What type of trying is this? Is it like a school? Is it a product? What is it? This is human emotion. If you are a human being and you can accept to try to love someone, you are a fraud. So I think that our guy is guilty, totally. I mean, for one, and the second reason why he's guilty is that whilst he's trying with his best friend, how does he now go out to a party and meet someone that now he truly loves? Both relationships is not love. Love is an inclusion. Once you can tell someone you love that person, it means whatever that person feels, you feel too. So this guy is not feeling for the new girl. He's not feeling for the best friend. And even the one that just broke up with him, he probably didn't feel for her. That's why that girl also broke up. So the issue here is that this guy is selfish. So it's not like we are trying to justify that the girl is throwing herself on him or he's trying to have rebound relationship with her. No. This is a selfish guy. He doesn't know what love is. And I think we are wasting our time on him. Unless he's willing to go and get proper help. Because nobody that truly loves can forcibly love his best friend and find, whilst he's trying to love his best friend, meet another one that he truly loves. I think it is just sex. It is just about intimacy. It is just about something that is superficial. Love is not like that. If he truly loved his best friend, he wouldn't mess with his emotions. So that is one. And the second thing is that his best friend is a woman growing up in Ghana, I guess. How do you go and tell a man that I love you? How can you, a woman growing up in Ghana, tell a man I love you? We don't do that. It's like an invitation to treat. You must find a way to let him know you love him without saying it. Because immediately you say it, then the higher the demand, the lower the price. You have already lowered your standard, therefore your value. And so for a narcissistic guy like this one, who is just running through women because he has no respect, no love, no concept of inclusion, our guy is a bad guy. That's what I want to say.
So he's a bad guy, so you won't even advise him. He says, I need your candid advice on who to choose and how to go about it.
So for me, I would tell him to not to choose any one of them, because he will break the second one's heart too. Because whilst he's trying with the second one, he will meet a new girl who has probably bigger boobs, more makeup, or bigger bottles and change his mind again. So what he should do is to find enlightenment. He should try to understand exactly what love is. Because when you love deeply, you sacrifice yourself. When you lust, you sacrifice others. That's why I know, because he has sacrificed his best friend, I know for sure that he doesn't understand what love is. If he just wants to have fun, he should leave us alone. He shouldn't come and waste our time. But if he wants to really know, he must go and seek help from people, maybe from someone who truly understands what love is, or do some research, read some books to find out what love truly is. Because if you love somebody, me, if I decide that I love you, period. From that time, whatever it is that you are feeling, I feel too. It's not a certain mystical or ominous voice speaking in my head. So the advice that I'll give you is that you are wasting all these girls' time. Take time and understand what love is before you go and waste another person's daughter's time.
Interesting comments there. Thank you very much, Chiame Kwame, for that perspective. You used some very harsh words there. He's a fraud. He's selfish. Okay. All right. So let's just say he is. My 2 cents. I feel like you can't date someone out of pity. You know, like, okay, so you're with this friend and because you just came out of a relationship and she was the one who was there, you sort of went out with her and that kind of thing. I think that's a very selfish thing to do. So I agree. Can't date someone out of pity. For that matter, I feel you should leave that friend. When it comes to this new girl, well, it's fresh. Something that's new, it's exciting. You might want to pursue that. But at the end of the day, maybe there are also comments from Ochiame Kwame that you need to consider. You know, how real are you being with yourself? Is this love or is it lust that you're pursuing? Something for you to ponder on. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, I've got another email coming your way, and you certainly want to hear what all my guests have to say. Don't go anywhere. It's Sister Sister on Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM. To Sister Sister on Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM with me, Jessica. Special guest on the line with us today, Ochiame Kwame. We have Rosina, we have Olivia as well. Exciting times on the show. We'll go right into our next email, and this is it.
Sisters, I've been married for almost 2 years with a son. Before we got married, my wife and I never really got intimate. Anytime I made an attempt, she would refuse and give the excuse that we can have sex anytime and any day after marriage, so I should relax. I loved her and didn't want to break her rules and beliefs, so I agreed. Anytime it happened, I ran to my friend's shop where most of my friends meet to socialize. We have been married for almost 2 years and nothing has changed about my wife's behavior regarding intimacy. She seems uninterested as before. If I want to get intimate with her, I have to convince her before I can have access to my wife. Anytime I make a move, she would complain of not feeling well or not being in the mood. When she finally gives in, she doesn't allow me to even kiss her because she doesn't like it. Sex with her is really boring, but we have talked about this issue several times. I've shown her websites where she can learn these basic intimacy tricks, but she seems not to change. The fact is, I've had a real intimate relationship before I met my wife, and her level of intimacy is nothing to write home about. I'm sexually starved and I don't feel comfortable staying at home. Sometimes I leave home early for work and come back late after work just to stay at my friend's shop to while away time. I'm thinking of getting another woman, but I don't want to break my marriage vows. What should I do?
Interesting question there. So is being sex starved by a significant other an excuse to go in for, a new partner? Let me come to you, Rosina. What are your thoughts on this one?
First and foremost, like I said earlier on the show some other time, that when you're dating, even when you subscribe to a no sex before marriage, there should be something that attracts both of you. You guys should have it difficult. You guys should actually restrain yourselves from being intimate. I mean, there should be points where you feel like touching each other. You need to remind yourself, hey, you're not doing this. So like the conversations, we can't wait to have this done and then we can do this and we can do that. That excitement needs to show so that you know that all of you are kind of like, you can't wait to seal the deal to do this. Now, that being said, there's a lot of reason. There could be many reasons why a spouse may not be interested in intimacy. Some of them could be because they probably suffered some form of abuse when they were children, or they were exposed to or have seen something that is sitting so much in their brain that when it comes to sexual relations, it probably takes them to a place that they don't like. So it's very uncomfortable for them. So for people like that, they need a proper psychologist who will probably go into their thinking, maybe go into their childhood to see whether if something happened, have they been raped before? Were they abused when they were children? Has she, as a child, seen probably a couple doing something and he probably didn't settle well with her? There could be something there. Number two, one statement hit me that she said that even when she agrees to have sex with him, she doesn't want to kiss him. So my question is there an issue about body odor, mouth odor? Is there an issue around those areas where she finds it irritating instead of the whole love-making process being exciting? She's rather irritated by something, maybe how he keeps himself and all that. And maybe she's not being able to bring herself to let him know that, look, babes, your mouth doesn't smell too good, so I don't enjoy being with you. I don't know what it is. And then lastly, there are also some women who just don't like sex. That's it. So maybe your idea of this is what intimacy is about, she probably has a different idea of what intimacy is about. And if your way of tackling it is just showing her the videos and it's not working, maybe you should tackle it from her end. What would you want? Okay, I have an issue. You're my wife. I love you so much. I mean, I care about you, but I would also want to experience you in that other side. So what is the problem? Is this something I'm not doing right? Is this something I'm not doing? For all you know, she might tell you that, look, I'm just so tired with the kids. By the time you come home, I'm tired. And all you keep talking about is sex, and I'm irritated. Then you're like, oh, wow, you're probably overwhelmed. Or you may find out the real reason why she doesn't want to have that form of intimacy with you. But long and short, when you decide to marry somebody, you marry the person for the good, the bad, and the ugly. If she has a problem and she doesn't want to have intimacy with you, it's not an excuse to go and cheat on your wife with somebody else. That one is something that you don't blame the woman. Try and solve your issue. Get to the bottom of it. If you have to see a shrink, see a shrink. If you have to, watch other documentaries about love, intimacy, not necessarily about sex, but love, intimacy, and all of that, do that. So you can gradually move her from one point to another. Now, if you haven't tried all options available and then you move, it's solely on your head. And even if you've tried all options available and this is a deal breaker for you, you are better off leaving the marriage and then finding somebody else, if that is what means a lot to you. But then again, what do I say? And I've also said before that sex is one very powerful tool in marriage. When it's good, everybody takes it for granted. But when it's bad, it can bring a lot of noise into the marriage. So what I'll tell this gentleman is like, look, maybe solve the issue from another angle. Go back into her thoughts. What is causing this? Or maybe she's also low-key lesbian. You don't know. So I don't know.
Okay. Interesting pointers there. Olivia, what are your thoughts on this one? How hard is it really to stay faithful in a situation like that?
It is hard. It is hard. But, we could all come up with 1,000,001 excuses as to why to cheat on our partners. But does that justify it? Relationship, marriage is a lot of hard work. It doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come easy. But the thing is, are you ready to work at it? Does the marriage mean a lot more to you as an individual? It's hard. I actually do know of a couple, a man who also experienced the same thing. He was madly in love, same thing, got married. They actually married. It's been about 20 years now. In the marriage. And he kept asking his wife for sex. In the beginning, it was okay. They had kids. And then he kept asking his wife for sex, and it was the big deal. And he had to go out. And his wife, to date, doesn't know that he's been going out to satisfy himself. And as far as she's concerned, the marriage is going on, but he feels bad that he had to do that to his wife. And so I wouldn't advise you to go and cheat on your wife, but what I'll say is it will take one day at a time. And in another scenario with a cousin as well, I mean, the man my cousin's husband had to literally go talk to his father-in-law and tell his father-in-law that, Dad, I mean, your daughter is not, meeting me halfway intimately. And then my cousin's father came to my cousin's house, sat her down and said, hey, master, you are not a picture frame for your husband to be looking at you. So you better open those legs and make sure that your husband is very well fed. I mean, those are two different scenarios. But having said that, I mean, you need to, one way or the other, work on it. Have somebody. I usually don't like getting people in your marriage or in your business. Two things. Obviously, there's something about sex that completely puts her off. I mean, she's never wanted it. I mean, you have proof that she was a virgin, if I'm not wrong. Therefore, it's not like, she's been promiscuous or anything, but we all don't know what she has. There's a mental block somewhere regarding sex. And I do know that there are actually sex therapists out there that can help. So I'm not sure whether we have some in Ghana, but I'm sure, we could Google now. Everything is a virtual world. You could Google and get some information. There's sex therapists who actually show you how to appreciate, a woman's body and vice versa. And there are therapists who can actually also help her mentally to get her to be excited enough to want to be with you. There are people, this sex thing is a big deal. I say it time and time again. There are lots of people in the cycle because they can't have an orgasm. And I can really feel where you're coming from because, at the end of the day, that's the pivotal part in the relationship that actually brings you together. Once the sex is great, the intimacy is amazing. It's like, it's love making. It's a moment whereby you both cherish and enjoy it together. And if you're missing that, then it's a big deal. What you could do is to have a conversation with her and tell her that, you really love her and you really want the relationship to work. You don't want to cheat on her. You know that she doesn't enjoy sex and you're also tired of constantly having to beg her. This is how you're feeling. Is there anything that you could do to meet her halfway? What is the problem? You see, you need to get her to open up. Open up about how she feels and what you could do to make her feel better. If there's some kind of help that she needs to get, then by all means, please help her get that help. And like Rosie was saying, if there's something also about you that makes the whole sex experience not exciting, I think you need to look at that as well. Because if you say that she was a virgin and all, then again you see, how was her first experience like with you? You see, touching her the first time, how you made the entire experience for her, especially the first time, was it exciting enough? You see, you could have probably put her off completely. She looks at you and she's like, okay. You see, so you also need to ask yourself some very, very important questions, but you wouldn't know until you have that frank conversation with her. And please, when she starts criticizing you intimately, as men as you are, you need to man up and accept it, because at the end of the day, love making is reciprocal. It's two-way. It's meant to be enjoyed. So if one person is not enjoying it, and it will be like wahala, chale, some way, some task, like you're going to wash dishes here, some way. So have that intimate conversation, find out where she's coming from. If it does mean that she would need help, then at least you know that, okay, this is more than just what it seems. Then actually you can both go out there and get some help. Other than that, I don't see you moving on. And please, cheating is definitely not an option.
Cheating is not an option, says Olivia. I'm curious to hear what Ochiame Kwame has to say on this one. I mean, seems like the easy way out is for people who are being starved in their relationships to go out and seek intimacy elsewhere. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that my fine ladies are very wise. They've almost said everything. But I don't know if you've heard of the theory of vaginismus.
Oh, yeah.
Vaginismus, yes, it's a condition where an involuntary muscle spasm prevents vagina from opening up for a partner to penetrate. So maybe this lady has this problem. And it could also be from the fact that, yes, she's properly religious or spiritual, so she didn't want to do it. But when she did it for the first time, the man was too big. So because he is too big, or maybe she is too small, the penetration is such a big problem that they both cannot come to a compromise to make it happen all the time. Or maybe I can say this on record, that most Ghanaian parents, because they want their daughters not to be promiscuous, they tell them many, many, many lies about sex. They tell them that sex is evil, sex is bad, sex will lead you to drop out of school, sex is a sin, and then they bring this whole negative connotation about this amazing physical experience and exposure of lovemaking, that immediately this lady falls in love and gets a husband. She's thinking that sex is such a big sin that she doesn't even want to do it, because especially after nights that she just prayed, both of you are going to bed, she closes her eyes to pray, oh God, please take care of my husband, and then immediately the prayers is done, please, I want to spoon. She'll be like, I agree, but we just pray, we are in the face of the Lord. So all these things come to play. Plus every other thing that the ladies have said, the backdrop of where she's coming from, maybe she might have been raped. But so I think that both of them should look at this from a scientific perspective. They should see someone. They should see a counselor to help them, a sex therapist to help them. Maybe for vaginismus, it could even be that she would need a proper operation before she can actually have him penetrate. Or maybe she actually married him for his money, married him for his brains, married him for his resources. And so that physical dimension of emotion is not available in the relationship. But I think that the man should have patience. He shouldn't go out there and cheat. Just because you are not getting banku at home doesn't mean you should go and buy it outside, Because I think that also for in marriages, sex is overrated. Sex is overly overrated. There are 4 main dimensions of every relationship. There's the physical dimension, the emotional dimension, the psychological dimension, and the spiritual dimension. So if you marry a woman for the way she looks or how amazing she is in bed, it will block your imagination to the point that you will not even have a spiritual awareness of how she feels like inside as an energy source that you can tap into and have spiritual orgasms. All those things happen. Emotional orgasms. You can even sit down with a woman you love and just talk to her and have an orgasm. So the physical one is just the least of your problems.
All right, looks like we've lost you there, but you had me with the physical and emotional orgasms. I'm sure lots of people are yet to experience that. We'll see if we can get Okyeame Kwame back on the line, but we'll go for a quick commercial break. It's Sister on Citi FM and Citi TV. Remember, our WhatsApp number is 054-998-6996. Let's hear your comments. If you have opinions on anything that we've shared, you can also let them be known. You can send an email to jessica@citifmonline.com or search for us on Facebook. You will find our beautiful logo as our DP. Like the page. Sister Live is what you should be looking for, and join the interactions that happen there. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back. Alrighty, well, welcome back to Sister on Citi TV and Citi FM. Maybe I should start asking Okyeame Kwame for your opinion first before your internet does us in. But yeah, he's back on the line. But we'll just move on, because I feel like you still made your point. The intimacy goes beyond the physical. End of story. So yes, we'll just go on to our next one here, because this has to be dealt with as well. So it says, I was in a relationship with a lady who is 4 years younger than I am. After 2 years of dating, she broke up with me because she said she wasn't comfortable with the age difference. Now, though I was really hurt, I moved on and found a wonderful lady whom I've been dating for a little over 2 years now. She has made it categorically clear to me that she doesn't want any intimacy before marriage, as she believes it's a sin. A couple of weeks ago, my ex reached out to me and requested that we have casual sex. I've been trying to resist her temptations and advances, but I feel I won't be able to avoid her forever. The fact that we're amazing in bed, plus my current situation of not having intimacy in the relationship, makes it hard for me to resist. Sisters, I don't want to cheat on my girlfriend, but her no intimacy stance is making things really difficult for me. Body no be firewood. What do you advise that I do? Ojame Gwame, I'm coming to you for this one.
Okay. Nana, when you love, you sacrifice yourself. That's all that love means. Immediately you get to the point where you are willing to sacrifice the one you say you love, that is not love. That is lust. Lust means getting. Lust means aggression. But love means sacrifice. Love means taking your time. Because love is absolute. Once you love, you don't need the casual sex from left, right, up and down. Because you love. And you know the consequence of this casual sex is that this lady is trying to find a way to ooze herself back into your relationship now that she's missing you. So my advice for you will be, please don't go and engage in this casual sex. However, if you truly love this one, wait for her. Maybe if you guys were going to get married after the COVID, so that you can do a big one with 700 people, go to a house with 25 people and marry her down low so that I can go home and hit that. So do not extend the period of waiting for too long so that you go and fall into sin. But I think that if you truly love this one that you are with, who is proven to be kind and respectful to your needs and is waiting for you guys to get married, I don't think the casual sex is important. That is if you are that guy. However, if you are the casual sex guy, then do not lie to this young girl about your feelings for her so that she will let you hit it and then now you run away to go and have 7 million other relationships. Because this shouldn't even be a problem to begin with. So if you know that you love this younger one, do not give this older woman the opportunity to come and use you for her physical needs. You are bigger than that. That's all I would like to say.
Nice one. You are bigger than that, he says. Rosina, what do you think about this one? No intimacy, Charlie.
You see, like the fact that he said no intimacy with his girlfriend.
Yeah, no intimacy,
You see, to start with, let me start. You were dating somebody who was 4 years younger than you. That means the lady was younger than you. That is usually a very good gap that people actually seek to have. And she broke up with you just because she's 4 years younger than you. And she broke your heart. She broke you. And you had to heal and move on. You found somebody else. You've managed to fall in love again. This person also loves you. And sometimes, one thing about intimacy is that, you see, sometimes when you have sex a little too early in the relationship, what happens is that it clouds other judgments. So you fail to see the other aspects of your partner. And even when you find out that there's something wrong that you can't handle, as a woman, or even as a man, even, it becomes more difficult to even, let's say, exit the relationship because you feel like you have given of yourself physically in that relationship. That's why sometimes it's advisable not to just jump into bed, with anybody at any time at the beginning of the relationship. Let it go so that you can appreciate yourself for who you truly are. Now, somebody who is willing to preserve herself, and then both of you, if it's still after marriage, that means that you people have already decided that you want to preserve yourselves and you're going to get married. Now, if the thing isn't cool for you to stay preserved till marriage, don't lie to the girl. Let the girl know that, look, I understand your concerns and everything, but this is also a deal breaker for me. And the two of you will decide. Or if you feel that you truly love her, all the other qualities except for the sleeping with her, you can decide to sacrifice, forgo that desire to be physically intimate, because after all, that physical intimacy is something that will be available to you after marriage. Now, let's put that aside. Even if you're looking at somebody else, you are looking at this same ex who broke your heart and left you with the reason that she's 4 years younger than you. So why are you going back to your ex? You see, exes are areas that you shouldn't be treading, especially, you see, sometimes when you have something good ahead of you, something pleasant ahead of you, that ex who doesn't mean well for you, I don't know, they have very good timing. They just show up with that 5%, that jewel or gold or whatever, or diamond in front of you is either not giving you or is not willing to give to you now. They show up and that's the only proposition they have. Then you two, you just allow yourself to be taken away. The next thing you know, she will still leave you because the age gap has not closed or widened, even on whatever she's looking for. And yet you'd have lost somebody who loves you and you probably truly care about. And you know what? You are getting into marriage. If you cannot hold yourself for a while, for a good cause, then that means you're not mature enough to get married. You should be able to sacrifice certain things for a while. What if you got married and she gets pregnant and her pregnancy is the kind that she can't afford to be intimate for the whole of the 9 months? What are you going to do? Are you going to be cheating around because she's pregnant for you and she can't have sex because her pregnancy is a bit delicate? Like, what are you going to do? So if you can't hold yourself till you get married properly to this woman, that is if you truly love her, as you are saying, respect her, love her. You know, I don't know. And this ex thing, I don't want to think about the ex thing. Why the ex? I mean, the thought of going to sleep with somebody else is annoying. How much more somebody who left you? Like, anyway, Charlie, it tire me. It tire me.
I can tell. It tire you, pa. All right, Olivia, what do you think? This whole situation of ex.
Wow.
And,
for me, Rosie hit the nail right on the head when she said, what are you going to do if your wife got pregnant? And, you know, even after having the baby, I mean, she has to heal. So it means you need to go without sex for a while. For me, young man, I think that, I mean, I'm going to be bashed for saying that, but I think that you have a problem. Yes, body no be firewood. Yes, I understand, but you have a problem. What is your definition of love? What does love mean to you as an individual? You're going out there, you're proposing to people, you're asking people out, and you can't, you know, keep your pants on just because what? Your partner says that she doesn't believe in premarital sex. I don't think you understand what love is. You see, and sometimes I feel like people sort of, not everybody, but, you know, sometimes some people seem to not understand what love really is. They misconstrue sex for love and love for sex. And they're two different things, though. They're two different things. And if you really love this girl as you say that you do, right, the girl who's keeping herself for you, you wouldn't be busy thinking about your ex, lusting after your ex. I mean, you're in a relationship and you're texting your ex and you're wishing that she's sleeping with you because the sex with her is great. And on the other hand, you're saying that you love this person that you're in a relationship with, and the fact that she wants to keep herself is a biggie for you. I mean, shame on you. Like, like Rosie said, you're not mature enough to be in a steady relationship, let alone marriage. You know, you can't abstain. I mean, what if, you know, a big deal comes up for your wife to be, you get married, and she has to travel for a couple of months? What are you going to do? Because she's gone, you know, she's traveled and she's not available for you to have sex. You're going to pick out the next Tom, Dick, and Harry to have sex with her. I mean, who does that? You need help, Masa. You need help. I mean, you need to sit down and ask yourself what kind of human being you are before you get other people's daughters involved in your whole complicated self. Because, I mean, think about it. What kind of future? What even as yourself as an individual? What kind of an example do you want your son to have? This whole thing, if you ask me, Masa, you are in a relationship. These are the terms and conditions. What do you want? Do you want to be faithful enough? And listen, when you're in a relationship here, the habits you build when you are dating and courting are the same habits that you transcend after you get married. And right now that is lovey-dovey. You can't keep your pants on. How about when you get married and things are stale, and then your wife probably doesn't look the way she used to look anymore, a million and one things come up? What are you going to do? Are you going to say because of that you're going to cheat? You don't understand what love is. You need help. You need to sit back, forget this whole sex thing. Ask yourself, what exactly is love, and how am I supposed to be treating people's daughters or people's children, so that I can be of example. My life can reflect the essence of what love is. I'm just tired of people, mixing up this whole sex thing. And I'm so happy for this girl. Asa, if you think that you can't be faithful to her, tell her that, Charlie, this one is not working for you. And if you want to be, I don't know, jumping the red lights or something, you're free to go. Even though I would not ask you to do that, but don't go breaking people's hearts and messing up people's lives. So that's it for me. I'm a bit upset.
I'd like to say something.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, I think that we are also missing out on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ochame. Your network's a bit, it's messing us up a little bit. But let's see. Okay, you're back. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that I think that the argument is a little biased, because we are not looking at whether this young man is polygamous or monogamous, because most men, all men, are polygamous. The whole idea of monogamy is a certain discipline that you need to culture and cultivate. No, I think all people are polygamous, but women have a certain understanding and strength to be able to deal with monogamy, because the society forces you guys to. But for a man, his primary energies go into polygamy. So we should ask this young man, if he is polygamous, he should tell this young lady that he has met that, look, I'm polygamous. So even though I'm waiting with you so we can get married, there's a big possibility that I can have other girls. And then I even plan that in the future I might marry one or two or three. For this lady to decide to spend the rest of her life with a polygamous man or not. I think that these are some of the little tricks that most of my friends who are polygamous, they hide, unlike my grandfather, who married my mother's mother and married two more, because my mother's mother knew he was going to do that. But most of these young men, they are polygamous. They go and marry these girls and promise them, you alone, and sing nice songs to them. Then 2 years after the marriage, they are slowly bringing side chicks in and all that. So I think that we need to find out from this young man, if you are polygamous, tell the woman that, what, I'm waiting to marry you because you are virtuous, but I am polygamous. Okay. So that this woman will come into the marriage knowing perfectly well what she is going into. So I think that we need to look at that as well.
All right, you raised some solid points there as well. Well, unfortunately, we're at the end of the show. I can't believe 1 hour's gone by already. But Ochame Kwame, thank you so much for your time. Of course, Rosina, Olivia, you guys come through every single week. Really appreciate that. Ochame, we'll be calling on you again. I actually enjoyed this session with you. And to those of you who, contribute to the show, text messages, emails, just keep them coming through. I mean, you make the show what it is. Don't forget, you can join our Facebook page. It's a growing, very vibrant community there. Sister Live, look for us, like us, and interact with us. My name is Jessica. Thank you so much for watching another exciting edition of your show and listening, of course. Until next time, bye-bye.